Hey everyone, it's Tim and Falconite, back for more Road to 1.1k, and today's match is this match versus Mr. Ngams 7331 on Lifeline GL. It was a tier 4 fog match, and it was an interesting match, I guess. If you don't know who Ngams is, he's basically the resident Mings impersonator on the site. Um, So, yeah, he's a bit of a troll, and he sort of played like a troll, I guess. But yeah. Anyways, today's match is on this map, which is a Lifeline GL. It's B rank, so it's probably not going to be in the rotation. But it's an interesting map. I actually like it a lot. It's got these comm towers in the center, and then it's got these two black boats, which are really... I like playing around with them because it's in fog. You can do a lot with them, and because of this just central area, you can do a lot of like blocking so that you can prevent your opponent from just reinforcing to their exposed area over here or what have you. So, yeah. Got a map analysis, obviously very tank heavy, very infantry heavy, but a lot more infantry than you would normally see, a lot more battlecopters than you'd normally see, honestly. Well, it's a pretty healthy map, I would say. It's got 38k total income, which amounts to about 19k on each side, which isn't that much actually for a 3 base. But it's enough for like, basically it's enough for a battlecopter. It's enough for 2 good units and then 2 infantry basically every turn, or like a medium tank and infantry. So that's nice, at least. And if you go to the map analysis, this is definitely a Jess map, honestly. Even though it's 3 base, like, this area over here is just very exposed, meaning that if you rush your opponent's airport really early on, you can basically prevent them from, you can lock it down very early on with basically just a single anti-air even. But you can capture this really, really quickly if you know how to play, if you play it correctly. This is also a pretty good map for rockets from this base here as well, on your weak side over by your HQ. That's why this is a bit of a weird map, but, and honestly that's, yeah, it's about 1 per game of rockets was built. So that should tell you everything you need to know, honestly. About how good rockets are, especially in this area. Artillery are okay, I guess. There's not really many spots that I could see using them though. Like, maybe in this area to guard from frontal attacks here, but you're not really able to defend that much in this area. Maybe like this city or your HQ. You can, if you position your artillery correctly, and then you also sort of want to break this open relatively early on so that you can get reinforcements from this base to your HQ. And that's it for the preamble, I guess. Yeah, I guess. Like, 46% with Jess win rate is, I feel like it's definitely criminally undercooked for this map. Because, like, just look at it. Like, there aren't that many properties that are super exposed to planes. The planes that do exist are, like, scattered around here. It's not exactly a Jake map. As for the other tier 4s, like, honestly, I don't think it's really that good for anyone of them. Except for Jess. Jess is pretty good. I really like Jess on this map. And because it's fog anyways, I'd probably pick Jess no matter what in tier 4. So yeah. That being said, it is a bit of a small map, so you will see infantry engagements, plenty of infantry engagements. Although, it's a bit sparser than you might think for a small map, but like you will definitely see infantry engagements, so just as low firepower of them will come into play for sure. But honestly, I feel like she's the best for this map. But yeah, I guess we can start with the actual replay now. Immediately you're just moving in with the black boats to pick up my infantry if I want to. I'm not going to really move in onto these black boats for turn 1 because I have properties right next to the base that I can pick up to start with. But I'm moving it there just so that I can reinforce with them when I want to. So, yeah, that's moving in with all of these things. Obviously going for the base, the secondary base first, and for any neighboring properties as well. Very early on. He's finally moving in his black boat here because he's actually going to move around with it now, I'm assuming. But there's a lot of properties that you can just chain in these areas anyways, so you don't really need to worry about the black boats until a turn or so later. That being said, it's good to have it in position early on just so that you have the option if you want it. But it doesn't really matter. And I'm obviously going for the recon early on. It's a Jess recon, it's fog, obviously it's a very good opener. And this also allowed me to get extra infantry without, like I didn't really need to rush the tank. I didn't really want to do that to start with. And because there's so many roads, that infantry recons are a good option early on. Like you can also just move them into the center here so that you can like keep these comm towers on lock if you really want to, with just for recons, especially with like just recons. Especially because, and also because of the heavy shoals in this area. That's a thing as well. So I actually opt to move in this way because I'm going to basically, I think my strategy here was to just rush his airport early on and deny him that as soon as I could. So I get that extra infantry move there. Planning on getting the comm tower probably here because I'm expecting to get some engagements relatively soon, and I get the tank to back up my recon obviously. So moving in with the infantry, actually going for the tank on the strong side here. Of course, because he doesn't have a recon out, he can't really see all that much in this area because your infantry are sort of going to be elsewhere, like capping properties and such. They don't really have time to be wasting on these properties here. On your weak side, you definitely are going to be able to see in this area. You don't really need to build a recon here because you have these mountains here, and you sort of just need to defend this area. But on your strong side, you definitely will need a recon. So flying for the comm tower there, obviously. And I've got the tank to back up my recon here, going for a second tank. So I'm sort of chaining here, sort of not chaining. I'm actually not chaining it. I'm putting it more centrally just so I can maneuver it this way if I want to, but I'm sort of expecting that he's not going to have that much of a tank presence in his weak side area. He also went for the artillery on his strong side. Well, we'll see how it goes. I figured I wasn't actually able to see how much his artillery did for him here, but it could be useful. We'll see. It's not really backing up his tank right now, though. And his tank could have definitely moved in a lot more aggressively here. Like, if I were him, I would have probably just popped down to one of these cities so that I would deny capturing either of them. And then that way, he would get the intel of just knowing if I had a tank in the area ready to strike. Because I'm not going to have 2 tanks ready to strike these cities this early on. There's no way. I'm only getting my second tank out now. I could have potentially maybe had it last turn, but like there's no way I would have been able to make it all the way around to here. So, and I'm obviously going for the aggressive move over here against his infantry. The fun thing about recons is that they actually don't take that much damage against, well, from like battlecopters and such. So I can move in pretty freely in this area for a little bit, and there's basically no chance that my recon's going down. Mainly because I don't see any tanks in the area. If there was a tank in the area that I saw, that would be a bit of a different story, but... So he's moving in here like that, getting the 3 shot off against my infantry here. He's actually got the artillery backing him up as well, so... It's not like the best artillery though. Well, it is a fog, so... And I can't see it from this mountain, but... Like, I'd be able to see it from this mountain, so I'm not exactly sure what he's doing with the artillery here. He's going for the anti-air as well, so sort of zone out my airport over here. And the battlecopter too. So, obviously I'm going to have to retreat and back off here because of the battlecopter, so I fall back behind the infantry even. The infantry in the woods, and then I forget what I do with the tank here, but basically I'm just moving into position over here. I didn't realize that he had the artillery here still. But I think I would have gone for a cap anyways, probably. But I'm definitely going for the artillery here, mainly. And the reason I'm doing that is so I can put in this woods and it can defend this city here. And I go for anti-air as well, obviously. Yeah, and he's going for the mech actually in this area. Mechs are pretty good. We're not too good against anti-air though, so I'd say they're a decent investment if you sort of like chain them in this area. You got a couple of them in the mountains over here. That could be nice, but so he actually finds my tank here. And it's a good shot off with his battlecopter. And I just move in like this with my infantry. Because he's got basically nothing in this area to really threaten it. Like, I've got my anti-air zoning out this entire area, so he can basically do what he wants to the infantry here. And I will not care. Like, I can move in very aggressively with the anti-air just to take out the he leaves it in this area. I actually get a shot off on his artillery, funnily enough. And I get the battlecopter as well to sort of deal with the artillery. Right now his anti-air is like just out of range of you being able to see it as well. So. But I should be expecting it to come. So he reveals it here. It's the shot off there and finishes, prevents you from taking that cap. Finishes on my infantry there as well. And gets a nice shot off here. So he's sort of routed everything that I have outside of my base here, but like, it doesn't matter. He's not going to take this city, he's not going to take my airport for the time being anyways. But he is moving pretty aggressively against it, so I will need to take that into consideration. He got the artillery here as well, but he's not really going to be able to do too much with it. It's a bit behind the front lines. Yeah, then he just moves in like that with the helicopter. He's blocking, well, he's not really blocking with the black boat, but it's running out of fuel already, actually, funnily enough. Because he's been doing so much infantry moving with it. That's a good sign. If your black boat's running out of fuel, that's a good sign that's doing its job. But I get the artillery shot off over here. Take out his battlecopter and just move in with the recon, I guess, because like, what else am I gonna do? Like, and honestly, at this point, like, there's nothing in this area that's really threatening. That's sort of the issue with this map, is it's kind of hard to get out units past this mountain range from your weak side. You definitely need to reinforce from like this side, or just zone it out with like rockets and stuff. But I've definitely got his like airport on lock at this point. And then I just wipe out a bunch of his units, start capping here, and I move my battlecopter a little bit defensively and get this guy out. And I have this guy out. I'm going to move him to this city, and he's just going to be able to guard these 2 properties. So that'll be good. Then I block with my black boat here, which is, it's an inconvenience, but like it doesn't really matter. Except for like maybe if he had a tank in this area. But... So he moves in like that. He actually starts capping there. And he gets the artillery here. I think he's going... Oh, actually, that's a good reason to move the artillery in on your strong side, is to take out this black boat here. I mean, this lander here. Get rid of the blocker, allow you to start capping the HQ. Very good idea. Okay, that guy's... He disappeared for a second there. It was a bit weird. Yeah, I move in with my infantry like so and take out that guy, more or less take him out. Take out the mech there as well, because I can see his tank here. My recon, I'm like, oh, okay, I can just move in for free with my anti-air. Take his airport as well, and very easy moves over here. Move in and take out this guy, and then follow up against the artillery here. But I got this guy blocking here as well, so even if you had a tank in this area, you wouldn't be able to do much with it. And I basically just routed him on this side. Similar to what he's done in this area, but like he's got less indirect firepower in this area, preventing me from just moving in and capping things. Whereas I have the defensive positions here, and I'm pretty well entrenched over here even. So I get another recon and another tank, obviously. And he's got the artillery in the woods here. He's going to prevent me from taking this turn. Yeah. Definitely. So he's going to try and cap it himself. Actually going for a shot off on my black boat here, because it's being very inconvenient and preventing him from actually going through this area. And he gets a shot off there and starts chipping away at my which would be something that might matter if I didn't have his rockets. So I actually go for the infantry, who wasn't even capping. Honestly, bad move. I should have gone for the anti-air, because let's see. Yeah, I almost one-shot it with just the rockets shot. If I had popped my power, I would definitely have one-shot. Even though I'm saving it up, sort of. So I definitely should have taken that guy out. Because he's got no other anti-air in the area, and that way I would have been able to just start pumping stuff out of this airport, actually. Which would have been very good. Even though it's like just a Jess airport, it's still going to be really nice. And now I'm pivoting my battlecopter over here away from the anti-air. And healing with him. And moving around with the recon to try and secure these properties as best as I can. I'm also trying to bait out the Lockrock with this tank here. I'm actually not sure if he's able to see the tank. Oh no, it's on his property, so he'll definitely be able to see it. But I'm sort of trying to bait out the Lockrock because I have the advantage here. If he wastes his Lockrock here, I'm basically golden to win. So he actually has the rockets that he built on the strong side and stuff. I don't know what he's gonna do with it though. Like he needs, if he's going for the HQ cap, what he sort of needs to do is just send tanks around this way, or just use air units, which he can't do because I have this airport. So maybe he could just. Well, actually, no. He's got 2 options here, like, right? So all he has to do is finish off the lander, and then basically what he wants to do is fork me here, is make me choose between losing my airport and my HQ, which I can't lose my HQ, so I have to take out whatever's on the HQ, basically, is what he should be doing. But I do have the artillery here that I can pivot if I need to. It's been shooting down this pipe seam, actually. But once that's taken care of, then I open this up to like my tank so that I can just start moving in with that there with that would be nice. But he actually doesn't go for a tank here, which was a little bit surprising to me, honestly. But I move the tank in position here just to kind of cut off any attacks that he might have made over here with that. Move into position with just take out his anti-air nice and easy. I mean his infantry. Maybe I should have gone for the mech, but it's on the mountain, so I'm actually not confident that I would have been able to one-shot it. Slightly irritating. But Jake mech on the mountain, yeah, I would have been able to one-shot it. Not even with the power. With the super, yeah, not because of the power. So I'm moving in with my battlecopter on this side to deal with not only the mechs, but also the artillery spam a little bit. And then I've got these two guys sort of just locking down this poor tank. He can't do anything with it. Kind of sad. But I pivot my artillery in over here so that if he does go for to try and fork me here, I can blast them both away. Oh, I think he might have resigned here. Yeah, he definitely resigned here. It's funny. In the DMs, I just sort of reverse trolled him by being basically just like, "Oh, you're clearly new at this. I don't understand why you're doing what you're doing. You're not that good of a troll." So I think that kind of demoralized him a little bit. But it's being stand here. It's actually not that decisive for me. I do have the income lead, and I do have the well, actually no, it's definitely decisive. What am I saying? So I have the income lead. I'm about to take another property off of him. There's no way he's going to be able to interrupt this cap. Well, maybe if he popped... No, I don't think even if he popped Block Rock. Like, 1, 2, 3... No. Well, we'll see. So he's got the artillery here. He's got this guy here. With Block Rock, it'll do marginally more. With Block Rock, he could get 2 artillery shots off and take out the black boat with that way, and then you can move in with the tank here. The only issue is like he'd be delaying the inevitable because I've got extra infantry in right here to keep on capping if I need to, and then I've got like a battlecopter from this airport, from his airport, and then I've got like a bunch of tanks in the area as well. So there's not much he could do over here. Because he doesn't have a recon in this area. Well, he has one over here. So if he pivoted it over to like here, he wouldn't be able to see anything. And that's the issue. Another issue is he doesn't have a recon in this area. Because if he did, he might have been able to get a nice block rock off over here. And he might have been able to just push with his infantry. Like, let's say possible block rock, he's able to finish this off with this guy, get a decent shot off on this infantry here, so it's not going to be able to really do much by itself, but I have the artillery here, I've got the rockets here as well. Like, I think he's screwed. Even though he has all this stuff in this area, it's not doing him any favors, because I've got a rocket zoning this area out. And I've got the artillery here as well. If his artillery was a little bit closer, he might have been able... Like, if this guy was here instead, he would have been able to get a nice shot off here. But I don't think he was really expecting me to move in with the artillery here. So, there's that. He's got the rockets here, but like, I mean the mech here, but he's not able to do too much with it because I've got this guy hiding in the forest. This guy only has how much fuel? He's got plenty of fuel actually to just move in here. Like, this is like a perfect storm, honestly. I'm not surprised that he forfeited when he did. He could have kept on playing, but like, what's he gonna do? He wasted 15k on this rockets, too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He probably should have just moved it into the forest here and then just pushed it this way. He would have been able to get it here by this turn. Well, actually, if he popped Block Rock, he'd have it like here. And then from there, it would have been able to actually start zoning out this area a little bit, maybe. But like, this rockets wasn't that good of an idea. You need the air units to take care of this area, so yeah. I will say that I think this rockets was like the biggest brain move of this match. Like, this rockets by itself just locks down this entire area. It's so freaking good. They can even fire on the pipe team if he wants too, so that's nice. Also, this artillery. This artillery was a very good decision, even if it was just for this property. Like, managing to hold on to this property was very, very big. I'd say it was huge. Oh, actually, if you pop Block Rock, you can just interrupt this cap with the artillery. But again, I've got the other infantries here to keep on going, so it doesn't matter too much if he does. If he did decide to do that with Block Rock, he wouldn't even put it down to 5, so I don't think he would have... it wouldn't even been a good interrupt. So yeah, that was the match against Mr. Ngams, or Wings as I have him up now. Anyways, so outro time, I guess. So next match, I hope you liked the penultimate episode of this season. Next week is going to be when I actually finally reach 1.1k. So make sure to tune in through that match, even though it's not going to be that long of a match. It's still going to be a fun one. It's going to be high funds tier 4. That's always funny. It's on this map situated near the coast. So yeah, I guess like, subscribe, and all that nonsense, and I will see you next time for the finale. So bye.